Hi, everybody. Welcome in. It is Friday, my friends. Feel good Friday, no less. It is the end of another week, and we have safely made it to the end. The weekend is on the horizon, and I am feeling so good about it. How are you guys doing? Everybody good out there? I hope that you guys have had a productive and a little bit of fun this week, right? I hope you found some time this week not to just be productive, but to like find something to make you smile. Yeah? You guys making jewelry out there? I hope you are. I know a lot of you are gearing up for the holidays, and so there are a lot of makers out there who are like furiously working, every free moment that they have to get together their last minute things for either their craft fair or their booth. There are a lot of fall festivals that are happening this year that maybe weren't happening last year, so people are getting ready for those as well. I know that we have a fall festival here at one of the schools coming up in 2 weeks, I think, and there will be vendors there. So for any of you who are going to be doing that, craft booths, vending, any of that, or if you're just beefing up your website or your Etsy shop for the holidays, I'm sending you lots of love and good vibes. I'm still congested, can you tell? Like I feel good, but I also I feel fine, but I also feel like when I'm talking, like there's just like this big wad of congestive nonsense that's just like at the back of my head. It feels like I'm talking through cotton. It's terrible. I feel fine. I may not sound it, but I feel fine. So hi to everybody. Hi Deb. Hi Dottie. Hi Lori. Colleen is here. Colleen's over on YouTube with Karen. Renee is here. Catherine is here. You guys, it's so good to see everybody. I hope you are having a good day so far. I'm going to let some more people come in. Sorry. I feel like super congested at the moment. Oh, Sadie says there's an ad. Joanne's is having a door crasher event. I love those. I love it when we can feed our bead addiction, right? So good. So good. Hi, Connie. Hi, Alicia. All right. So let's do a little chat and then let's get down to business, shall we? First and foremost, to those of you who have joined the Hardwired group, and maybe today will be your first day being a part of that, welcome in. I will officially welcome you later on when we have our live for that. But I just wanted to go ahead now and say thank you to those people because it is always fun to have new faces in that group. And the reason that I'm bringing it up, other than just to tell those people thank you, is to let everyone else know that the door is now closed. So you are not able to join our Hardwired group until the next end of the month comes up and we will have open enrollment again. So you've got a whole nother month to think about whether or not you'd like to join our paid group and be a part of the fun over there. But for those of you who were able to do so and wanted to do so, I'm so happy that you did. And I'm looking forward to spending some time with you later today. What else? Oh, it's Friday, which means not only is it Feel Good Friday, but you guys set yourself a reminder, write yourself a note, put a sticky note somewhere. Tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern, I'm going to do the Maker Challenge with Sam over on Sam's Bead Shop. So, it's always a good time. It's kind of a design on the fly. I'll be doing like a impromptu design with the beads from his previous bead box. So come and hang out. It's always a good time when Sam and I are together. So yeah, don't forget about that. That's happening tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern time. I'm doing a quick feed my face between the Hardwired live and then the live with Sam. So I've got a busy day today. I've got 3 lives today, which is, also have to find time to like go get dog food. So how do the rest of you all do it? How do you manage it all, right? Okay, one other thing. Well, actually 2. I lied. 3 things. 3 things. The first thing I want to tell you is that the September contest for the Maker Mixes, of course, September is over. You have until the 6th of October to post your pictures. Guys, post those inside the albums that Colleen has made for those. And we're going to announce our winner on the 7th, I believe. So if you haven't had an opportunity to to do that. You know, if you haven't had a chance to post your picture, go ahead and do that. You've only got a few more days to take care of that. For those of you who do not have anything for September but are ready for October, you can go ahead. Colleen's going to make an album for October as well. So basically, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the maker mixes, I have maker mixes in my Etsy shop. You buy the maker mixes, and for each maker mix that you buy, you have an opportunity to enter into a drawing that we have at the end of every month where you win a goodie bag. So basically what you do is you create a piece of jewelry using the maker mix. You can use things from your own stash to mix into it as well. And then you post your picture into the album. We put all of those names into a little gadget on our phone and we pick a winner, and the winner gets something really cool. So definitely want you guys to do that if you haven't had the opportunity to do that. And also check out the albums, because it's a really cool place where you can go and like see all of the different designs that people have made. It's a great place for inspiration. So that being said, I got a couple of little things to tell you. I don't have any maker mixes this week because maker mixes are on sale in the shop. They're all 10% off. So if you've had your eye on a maker mix and you are, you've just been kind of waiting and waiting, now's your opportunity, because all maker mixes are 10% off in the shop, as well as select kits. So there are select kits that are also 10% off in the shop. Not all kits, and definitely not today's kits, but there are select kits. So kits, maker mixes, 10% off. You don't have to have a coupon code. It takes it out for you when you go to checkout, right? So there's that. Let's see. The other thing to tell you, those were 2 in 1. Oh, the last thing to say is not necessarily to you guys. It's been a while since I've said it out loud, just putting it out into the universe. So I'm going to take the opportunity really quickly to say it here. For any of you who happen to be in the television industry, or if you are in the jewelry making industry, those 2 people, this message is for you guys. I am open to collaborate. I am also looking to get back into a television studio. So please feel free to check out my Facebook page, check out all of the followers that I have and all of the viewing hours that I have built up with Facebook Lives and my YouTube channel. I dress up nicely. I clean up well, and I do have experience. You guys, at this point, I'm just putting it out into the universe because I know those people are probably not listening. And if they are, they don't care who I am compared to Joe at the stop sign. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes you just got to put those things out there from your lips to God's ears and cross your fingers, because I tell you what, at this point, I would even host a cooking show. And you guys know that's a big deal because I don't kitchen. So for those of you who are out there who are supporting me and understand my journey and understand where I have been and where I hope to be going, please say some prayers and happy thoughts for me, right? Because I'm looking forward to moving into the next chapter of my life. So Cindy says, what happened to JTV? I used to be there. I was there. I did that. I did a thing, but I don't do that thing anymore. So anyway, all right. So you guys, let's talk about our Feel Good Friday show, because those are the most exciting shows of the week as far as I'm concerned, because Feel Good Friday is all about instant gratification jewelry that you can easily recreate, and you can grab the kits in my shop. I have put all of the materials together for you. All you have to do is buy the kit. I get those in the mail to you as quick as possible, and you just follow the instructions that we have here, right, to recreate the jewelry. The jewelry inspiration on Fridays is always easy. It doesn't take a lot of technique. And the reasons why is because I want you to go into your weekend inspired and not bogged down with technique. We focus on technique. We focus on things like that in the Hardwired group and on our Tuesday shows with you guys. And on Fridays, I just want it to be casual, right? I just want it to be casual and fun so you can go into your weekend not worried about what you learned, but maybe inspired to look at your surroundings, the color palettes that are around you, and make some beautiful jewelry that is easy to wear and doesn't take a lot of brain power, right? Sometimes on the weekends, we just need to turn off, but our creativity still needs to flow. So that's what our Feel Good Friday shows are all about. I've got 4 kits for you guys. 1 pair of earrings, 2 bracelets and a necklace, a partridge, and a pear tree. All right. So without further ado, let's please get down to it. All right, let's do this. I've done a lot of talking. Now let's do some making. That's the best part of the show, is the making, right? All right, so oh, you guys, these are so pretty. I'm excited to show you these kits because they are just super, super pretty. So I can't decide which order I want to do this in. I think I'm gonna go with the earrings first because they're the easiest. They're quick and easy. Not that the rest of them aren't quick and easy, but these are always fun. So it's not necessarily a Halloween design. More of a Day of the Dead design, but quite honestly, a design that you could get away with wearing whenever you wanted to. Comes in 3 different color palettes, or 3 different color choices, rather. I'm going to show you them to you, and then I'm going to put one together for you. So these are just fun little skulls, right? They're not scary. They're just fun. It's like a little king, right? He's got a heart-shaped body. There's some vintage check glass hearts for the bodies. And we have stacked up some spacers. We have a little howlite skull bead, and then he's wearing a crown and topped off with a rose just to give it a little more fun, right? A little more fun. So I have these in white. I'm gonna put this one, the mate for this one, together here in just a second, but I wanted to show you the other 2 colors because you cannot have Day of the Dead jewelry and fun things like that without the combination of blue and red. It seems to be a really popular color combo for that celebration. So these are super cool. So the skull for these are blue, but still with the red. Everything else is the same. It's just the skull is a little different. And then for those of you who wanted a little bit more understated, the skull is black. So from a distance, he just looks like a really cool black bead. You have to be kind of up close to know that he's a skull, but black and red is a classic combination. So there you go. And guys, these earrings, you can wear them anytime, right? That kind of jewelry is always fun to wear. And they work for Valentine's Day as well. Just saying. But they're fun. They're whimsical. They're just fun. So we're going to put one together real quick. Okay. So just easy peasy. There's nothing hard about these at all. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to take a head pin, right? We're going to take a vintage check glass heart. Guys, I've had these forever. They're vintage, even long. Okay, whoa, hold on. Words are hard. They're vintage even in just that I have had them for a million years, but they were vintage before I got them. So I don't even know how old they are. I've had them for a long time. But I'm going to take that heart and I'm going to slide that on upside down. That's going to make just a cute little body shape, right? I'm going to take a bead cap. Where did my bead cap go? Oh. A little bead cap to come over the top of that. It's like the top of his shirt, right? You have to use your imagination with these, okay? It's like he has on a little shirt. And then I'm going to take a daisy spacer, and that's like his collar. And I'm going to take the skull and slide that one down. So there's his little head, right? You can always take these and like put little flowers, glue some flowers in their eyes. I've always wanted to do that, or little rhinestones to give them some extra sparkle. All right, so now we're going to build up his little crown. So we're going to put on a red rhinestone spacer. I'm going to take a floral bead cap and turn that upside down so it sits kind of like a little cup in the top of that spacer, that rhinestone spacer. And then I'm just going to drop down a red glass faceted rondelle on the top of that, right? So he's got his little crown. He's very royal. He's very happy. We're just going to do a wrapped loop at the top here. So I'm grabbing the wire right where it is exiting the bead, and I'm going to bend the wire over the top of the chain nose pliers, okay? And the reason I do that is because that gives me a perfect amount of space between the top of the bead and the bend in the wire to create our wire wraps. So we don't have to do any measuring. So when we come in with our round nose pliers, we go up and over the top barrel of the pliers. Now, in order to get that loop, to turn it into an actual loop, we have to move the bottom barrel of the pliers to the top, right? So we just rotate, and then we can take the wire over to the other side. That's going to close up our loop, okay? I'm going to switch hands here, and we're going to wire wrap in the space between our loop and the top of our bead. And remember, the chain nose pliers did all that measuring for me, so I don't have to worry about it. It's already ready for me. So I'm going to come in with my cutter tool. The heart is like poofy pants, says Patty. I love that. It's like little poofy pants he has on hammer pants. That's fun. I like it. I like it. I love this kind of earring design because you can stack them up. I don't know if you remember, like, I don't think it was last week, but it might have been last week or week before last. We did some that had wings and they were just fun too, right? You can just stack up so many different little things to like build a little character, right? These are my little Day of the Dead characters. So there's that. But now I want to add the rose to the top of this just because, I mean, roses, and why not? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add that one with an eye pin. I'm going to open the eye pin, open that up. I'm going to go ahead and thread that onto the loop that I just created and close that back. All right, so I don't have to open it I don't have to open it once there's a bead on there. Just find this a little bit easier to do it ahead of time. I'm going to thread on my rose, and now I'm going to do another wire wrap over the top of our rose. They would be great for Mardi Gras. Definitely, definitely. All right, so I'm going to grab the wire. Again, we're giving it a bend. We're going to come in with our round nose pliers. We're going up and over, rotate, take the wire over to the other side, and then we're going to wire wrap in that space. Now with the roses, the way that they're drilled, your wire wraps are really more to the back. So I don't necessarily stop at the top of the rose because see how the hole on that bead comes down a little bit further? So I kind of twist my rose around as I'm wrapping to make that last wire wrap fit. Do you see what I mean? And then that way it's nice and tight. It's not loose. I don't really like my rose to spin around on the eye pin very much. So that helps to kind of keep it pretty stable. All right, and that's it for these, right? The only thing we have left to do now is just add the ear wire to it. So these are super easy and fun. Kits are available in the Etsy shop, of course, in all of the different colors. So we have the white ones. We have the blue. And we have the black. They're fun for Halloween. They're fun for Day of the Dead. They're fun for Valentine's Day. They're fun for Mardi Gras. They're fun for just any day you're feeling a little sassy, right? They're cool. They're cool. And they're not scary. They're just whimsical and fun. Nothing scary here, you guys. I have to be careful about that because we made spiders over in the hardwired group, and some people wouldn't even make them because they were like, "Ew, they're spiders and they're scary." And I'm like, really? They're made out of wire. They're not going to bite you. But some people are that's just not their thing. They don't want scary stuff. So I definitely don't want scary skulls. I want these to be fun and whimsical. You know, we don't take ourselves too seriously. All right, so I'm going to sit those to the side. I'll try those on for you after we get done with the rest of our kits. Now we're going to move on to a bracelet. Now I have 2 bracelets for you guys. Okay, and this, you guys, for the past few weeks, I've been working with some beads from Danielle Wicks, and this week is no exception. I have some really cool dragonflies from Danielle this week. I also have some moons from Danielle this week. I'm going to put up a banner for her shop so that you guys can go. If you're over in my shop, take a minute to go over to Danielle's shop as well. That's etsy.com/shop/Danielle Wicks. She has an amazing Etsy shop and she has the most beautiful beads ever. Not only that, she is such a wonderful person and a great artist, and having the opportunity to work with her is such a blessing. So definitely go and check out her shop. She has some amazing things, and you can definitely feed your need for beads over in her shop. All right, so I'm going to show you. We're going to put together a dragonfly bracelet. These have been flying out of the shop. So I think I've done, this is maybe my 3rd dragonfly bracelet. Now, every single time I put these together, they sell out immediately. So I'm going to show this one to you before it gets completely sold out. I'm going to lay this out for you and then we'll put it all together. So this one is a little bit different than the other ones that I've done. This one, not only does it have this really cool dragonfly bead, but it also has a dragonfly toggle, which I think is adorable, right? Because, I mean, the clasp has got to be extra too. The clasp has to be extra. So we're going to do our little dragonfly toggle. Okay, we're going to do a piece of purple dyed quartz. So we're going to do a little chunky monkey. We're going to do our dragonfly bead, and then we have an infinity loop that we're going to add with 2 Swarovski purple dangles, because I can't not have little dangles. And then instead of a double strand bracelet, which I had been doing, we're just going to do like a charm style chain bracelet. So I've got some antique brass chain here, and we're going to use some of these really beautiful AB kind of lilac colored check glass rounds, and we are going to wire wrap those and put those on the alternating links, and that will be the length of our bracelet. So when it all comes together, it's kind of look like this, but you obviously are going to be able to see the finished thing. Some of these are already wire wrapped just to kind of save time, because I've got 2 other kits to show you guys, but I am going to show you how to get from point A to point B as quickly as possible. All right, so let's put this all together. The first thing we're going to do is we are going to wire wrap our dragonfly, and I'm going to use a piece of antique brass wire. To do that, we're going to do a wrapped loop on the top and the bottom. So got my piece of wire here. I'm going to come down on the wire, and I'm going to give the wire a bend. So we're making like a 7, backward 7. I'm going to come in with my round nose pliers. I'm going to take that wire up and over, right? To begin our loop, I need to rotate so that I can take that loop or take the wire rather over to close up our loop. Now I want to wire wrap underneath the loop that I made. So essentially what we're making is an eye pin with a wrapped loop, right? Instead of a simple loop. Use your pliers if your wire gets a little short on you. And then you want to come in and trim off any of the excess. I do have a little tiny bit sticking out here. I want to trim that off. Okay. I'm going to thread on. Okay, hold on. I think I did this wrong, because I want this to all be looped together. I did. Well, that's okay. I can wire wrap the little chunk of quartz to it. But this guy, we're gonna add our bead, and then before we do our wire wraps, we're gonna wire wrap this directly to our infinity link. So let me show you. Okay. So I'm gonna come in with my chain nose pliers. I'm gonna give the wire a bend. We're gonna do our wrapped loop just like normal, but let's see, we're gonna go up and over. Before we do the wire wraps, we're gonna attach it to that infinity link. So this is what we've got so far, right? I'm gonna take my pliers and gently open up that loop just a little bit so that I can go ahead and thread on the infinity loop to that. So it's they're directly connected. There's no jump ring there. Okay. And I'm going to hold that with my bent chain nose pliers. I like to use my bent chain nose pliers for this, just to keep the tip of the pliers out of the way, so that I'm holding my loop closed, but I don't have to worry about wire wrapping around the tip of the pliers. So there's plenty of room in here to do my wire wrap. Okay. Let's see. Whoops. All right. Now, as far as the dragonfly is concerned, he's 2-sided. You can use either side. So this side is kind of peachy and metallic. This side is all metallic. Either side looks great with this bracelet. So you don't have to necessarily worry like if your dragonfly bead is going to flip and flop around, because either direction it's going to be amazing. I'm going to tuck in the end that excess wire. If I can hold it still, I will. Right. All right. So that is directly wire wrapped to the infinity link. We're going to do our little chunky piece of quartz. So we're going to come in, we're going to start another wrapped loop. Okay. And I'm going to wire wrap this one directly to the dragonfly. So again, I've started my loop, open that up, thread that on. And then again, I'm going to come in, close that loop, and then wire wrap. It's a little piece of wire. Use my pliers here. Okay. trim off the excess. Okay, and now we're going to thread on our little piece of quartz. And the tail end of my wire is a little bit out of shape. If that's going to go through there or not. No, I need to trim that off. Albert, stop scratching. He is so much better, but he's still, I think it's just habit at this point, and he is still scratching. For those of you who are like, who is Albert? If you're new, Albert's my dog. He's one of two that is at my feet. All right, so I'm going to come in and do another wrapped loop. So up and over, rotate, take the wire over, and then we are going to wire wrap. Okay. Albert is not a person, though I wish that he was on most days, or at least that he had thumbs so that he and Cooper could help me, because dang, sometimes I need a whole other set of hands or paws. I'm not picky. All right, so this is what we've got so far. Okay, so pretty, right? Now I'm going to save my bicones for the end. We're going to go ahead and we're going to add our 3 other check glass beads to our chain. So we're going to wire wrap these real quick, and then we will move on and put everything else together. So I'm going to drop one down onto a head pin. Actually, I'm going to drop all 3 down onto a head pin. Okay. And then I'm going to do a wrapped loop on each one of these, and I'm going to attach these to the chain with jump rings. Now, if you don't want to use the jump rings, you want that extra security, you can wire wrap these directly to the chain. And I didn't fill up the chain with a ton of beads because I thought, you know, this is a great opportunity to use this chain section of bracelet. There's our wrapped loop on that one. I'm going to do 2 more and then we'll put them on. But to fill up this chain, if you're going to give this as a gift, or you want to put it in your booth, or if you're going to wear it for yourself, use the rest of those open links of chain to personalize it, right? You can add more charms to this. You can add more beads to this. You could fill it up and make it a really cool cha-cha bracelet if you wanted to. I just gave you the bare bones, and honestly, the bare bones look beautiful all by themselves. Like this, once you put it all together, it doesn't need anything else. But it is a design that you can take and really kind of personalize it and kick it up a notch if you want to, by adding your own things to it and filling up the chain. So always fun to have the opportunity to do that, right? All right, so I'm wire wrapping the last one of the rounds. Okay, now I didn't trim off the excess, do that all at the same time. If you guys ever wonder how I make jewelry when I'm on my own and I'm not teaching, this is the way I do it. A lot of times if I have a lot of wrapped loops that I have to make, I'll do them all and then I go back and trim off, right? I don't do them one at a time. I usually only do that if I'm teaching, where I'll trim one at a time. But yeah, so I make myself a little pile and they're ready to go. So you're going to do that to all of the check glass rounds. And they are this really beautiful lilac purple color. And they have that really awesome AB finish. They're all on 4mm jump rings, and they're on alternating links of the chain. Now they do slide back and forth. So they kind of, you know, they'll see like this one has slid over this way. It looks uneven. That's just because they move back and forth on the links, right? All right, so now we are going to add them with some jump rings. So I'm going to open up a jump ring between 2 pairs of pliers, right? I'm going to thread that on to, so there's one on this one. I'm going to skip one, and I'm going to thread this on to that one, add a bead, and then close that back. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing 2 more times. We're going to skip over a link. Okay, so we're skipping that link. We're going on to this one. Oh gosh, come on. All right, I'm going to add a bead, close that back. I can't wait to show you the other 2 kits, so don't go away. because if this bracelet is not your cup of tea, the next one might be. And then the necklace at the end, I think, is just really fun. So stick around if you can. Okay, one more bead to add. So skip a link. We're attaching to this one. Okay, close that back. All right, so now I have all of my little check glass rounds alternating on my chain. Okay, I'm going to actually open up my chain link here, just like I would a jump ring, because these are nice big links. I'm going to open up, just twisting that open, right? I'm going to attach my infinity link to that, close that back. Make sure you get a good closure on your chain, okay? Treat it the same way you would a jump ring, right? All right, now for the end, I'm going to take one end is going to be the bar portion of our toggle. So it's already got its jumper on it. Open that up, attach that to our little chunky piece of quartz. All right. And then I'm going to do the dragonfly ring on the other end. So I'm going to that last link of chain. And actually, let me use a small jump ring here. Open up the jump ring. I'm going to thread that onto the chain link and then onto the little loop on our clasp. Whoops. And then we're going to close that back. Maybe. Looks like I need a 6mm jump ring here. I can't remember what I used in the original. I just had a handful of jump rings. Yeah, it looks like it's definitely needs to be a 6mm, which is good because I've got one right here. And I know that's what's in your kit, so I don't know. I was trying to cheat myself here. 6mm jump ring. We don't have to fight with it. All right. And then that's it. That's it. So let me show you it all put together. The clasp is just the perfect little complement to that dragonfly bead. Like, I don't know. It's just something just super adorable about that. Those two little things together. What is going on here? Are you seeing this? There we go. All right. So there you go. Now, the only other thing to do to this is to add. How cute is that? You fill that all up with whatever charms and beads you want to, right? The only other thing to do is you've got your two little bicones here, your two little crystals, and you can add those here if you want to. You can add them here. I'm not going to add them at all because I want to go ahead and move on. But you do get your two little Austrian crystals, right? And your head pin so that you can attach these as extra little dangles, and you can put them wherever you want to. In the original, I put them on one of the infinity links. Okay, so that's that. Super, super cute. Love this bracelet. I think it's really, really beautiful. I'm not much of a purple person, but this kind of lilac-y color, this like soft purple, is definitely a purple that I'm drawn to for sure. So if you're not a purple person, maybe give this softer purple a try. Super cute. Super, super cute. All right. So I'm going to move this out and we're going to move on to the next because I've still got two more kits to show you guys and they are equally as awesome. All right. So the next one is another bracelet, and this is actually a twist on a bracelet that we have done before, except this one has a little extra in the middle, whereas the other gemstone bracelets that we've done have been just all the way around, you know, a full bracelet. But this one, we're going to break up our gemstones with this really cool copper leaf connector. So we've got some of these beautiful leopard skin Jasper beads, okay? 4 on either side of our little leaf. In between those, we have little crystals on a head pin and then on a jump ring. Some of them are already done. We'll do a couple of them together. Those go in between, right? Just laying it out so you can see it. So we've got 2 more of these we need to wire wrap together and put on jump rings. I've got a big chunky clasp for this. and some textured jump rings, which are always fun. And you've got all the things you need, right? You've got your bead stringing wire, you have your wire guardians, you have your crimp tubes, and then last but not least, for the length of this, is a piece of faux suede lace. So I'll show you how to put all of this together. Okay. So there's going to be some stringing involved here. Let's go ahead and do the bicones first though, just to kind of get those out of the way. And then I'm going to show you what you can do with your little leaf connector here. If you've got this tool that I have, I'll show you. All right. So I'm going to go ahead, bend the wire. We're going to come in with our round nose pliers to do our wrapped loop on this. So just up and over, rotate. Take the wire over, and then we are going to wire wrap in that space. And the copper in this design is more of an antique copper. It's not a real bright regular copper. I personally can't handle regular copper without it having a chemical reaction with my skin like almost immediately. But now the darker coppers I'm okay with. They tend to take a little bit longer to tarnish on me, but my skin is so acidic that I tarnish copper just by looking at it. So I tend to not have that problem with the antique coppers. All right, so again, I'm going to come in just like I did before, where I didn't do one at a time. Also want to tuck in any little extra ends if you can't get your cut on that wire. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and put these on jump rings so that they're ready to string. Okay. So I'm just going to open a jump ring, thread on, open a jump ring, and thread on. So the two beaded sections, we're going to do those with the bead stringing wire and crimps, wire guardians, okay, on either side of our component here. But let me show you the component. So you can leave the component flat if you want to, but I like to give mine a little bit of a bend. See how I've given it a little bit of a curve? I feel like it just kind of lays better on your skin. It still looks cool flat if you don't have the ability to do that to it, but you can. If you have, let me show you. So I have the Beadalon bracelet bending pliers. They're really good for bending components, right? And charms and things. So I'm going to use that. I'm just going to take my little charm here and I'm just going to put it in to my bracelet bending pliers. And it just gives it a very, very slight curve, right? We didn't make a huge bend in that or anything. Just the slightest little curve just makes it fit a little bit better on the skin. That's all. That's all. You don't have to do that. If you don't have these pliers, then you might have trouble doing it. You could obviously put it up against something round and hit it with a hammer if you wanted to get that bend. But if you've got those pliers, don't forget about using these with things like, you know, charms and components. Okay. All right. So now we're going to do our little stringing here. So I'm going to thread on, I'm just going to start with one section because we have to do these individually. I'm going to thread on a crimp tube. I'm going to thread on a wire guardian and I'm going to take that wire back down through the wire guardian. Now, before I go through that crimp, I'm going to go through the loop on my leaf component. Okay. I'm going to take that wire down through the crimp now. So I'm not using a jump ring or anything. These are just directly connected to each other, right? And I'm going to come in with my crimper. Okay, so I'm going to use my crimper tool. I'm going to use the back notch of my crimper tool. It's the one with the little tooth. It looks like the piece of macaroni. I want to make sure that the bead stringing wire is not crossing over itself, that it's running side by side. Give it a good crimp. Okay, then you're going to turn that crimp sideways and put it in the front notch and squeeze it. That's going to just give it, make it a little bit more compact, right? All right, so now we're going to thread on. I'm actually going to trim off some of my excess wire here. We're going to thread on our beads on one side. So a Jasper bead, the jump ring with our bicone, Jasper bead, bicone, Jasper bead, bicone, and our Jasper bead. Okay. All right, now we're going to crimp again. Okay, that's really all there is to it on each side. It's just a very, very small stringing section. Now, if you wanted to do this on wire, you could, but in your kit, it's bead stringing wire. So just keep that in mind. Okay. All right, so my crimp tube is on. I'm going to do my wire guardian. Okay, the wire back down through the wire guardian, and you'll notice my piece of bead stringing wire is extra long because I've got to have the rest of it to do the other side, right? All right, so I'm going to bring all that down. Take my bead stringing wire through at least one bead, just so that I've got a little bit better, well, maybe 2 beads, just come on, I need that wire. There we go. Just so that I can hold on to it away from the crimp and the wire guardian so that nothing is crowded, right? If I can hold on to it down here, then I've got more room to get my crimper tool in there. Okay. All right. So again, you want to make sure that your bead stringing wire is not crossing within your crimp tube. You want to come in with your crimper tool, put that in the back notch, give it a squeeze, and then you want to turn it sideways and put it in the front notch to give it another squeeze. And then I'm going to come in and trim off the excess wire because we've got to have the rest of this piece, right? So there's one side, right? And we're going to do the other side real quick. Okay, so wire guardian again. Joyce wants to know the size of the bracelet. So the bracelet kits, because remember this is a kit, you can adjust the length on these. And I haven't gotten to that part yet, but I'll show you. With the suede lace, you can adjust the length. So if you need it to be longer or shorter to accommodate whatever size you need it to be. Okay. All right. Again, the crimp. Okay. Crimp again. All right. So that's just directly onto our component. Trim off some of our bead stringing wire. All right. We're going to thread on the other side of our beads. Okay. So a bead, a jump ring with a crystal, a bead, jump ring with a crystal, bead, crystal, and bead. Okay, and now we're going to do another crimp. So the crimp tube is going on. Can somebody post the link to the Etsy shop, you guys? I know it's been posted, but it has scrolled back a little bit. And Patricia's asking for it. And if you guys don't mind to post Danielle's again, if you want to. Danielle Wicks. I've got one more. My next project that I'm going to show you guys is a necklace. And these awesome moons from Danielle in her shop. All right, so I'm going to crimp again. Crimp and crimp. And then trim off. So we have our 2 little beaded sections on either side. Now, again, you got to kind of use, like, this bracelet doesn't lay very well until you actually get it on because your component is kind of, you know, curved if you curve it. And then, of course, your bead stringing wire is going to kind of conform to your, you know, the shape of your arm. So it kind of lays in a funny way here in the beginning, but the rest of this is just super, super simple. So what we're going to do is we're going to use 2 of these cool textured jump rings. Okay. I'm going to put one on one end. And I'm going to put one on the other end. Okay. Now, for the rest of the length of this bracelet, and we're going to use our really cool clasp here. That goes right in there. For the rest of the length of the bracelet, you've got a piece of faux suede lace in this really beautiful brown color. Okay. And you've got a cord end for this. So what I did for mine was I just took my piece of faux suede lace. You've got a really long piece of this. Okay. So you're going to cut this to make this into whatever size you need your bracelet to be. You're going to take it, you're going to go through, just fold it in half, go through your textured jump ring, take your two ends, right? And make yourself a lark's head knot. Now, I definitely would come to the back of this, add a little bit of glue, okay? And then you're going to trim it just depending on how much length you need, right? So I'm just going to kind of make a guess because we're just, right? This is nobody's bracelet. All right, so now I'm going to add my cord ends to this. So I take my two ends, I'm going to lay those into the fold over cord end. People like to see this part, so I wanted to be sure to include this. So the cord ends are, you just place those in like that, and then you're going to put that top flap over. Then you need to fold over the sides. So you just take your pliers to fold those over. And that gives you a really nice tight closure on your faux suede lace. Then the only thing left to do here is just use a jump ring, right? So the jump ring goes onto the clasp, it goes onto the loop of the cord end, and you finished off your bracelet. Now, that gives it, like I said, that gives you an opportunity to adjust the size depending on how much of the faux suede lace you're going to cut. Right? If you need it longer, if you need a longer bracelet, you're going to use a longer piece of your leather, shorter, vice versa, right? Also, there are a couple of other opportunities to add extra things to this, right? You've got these textured jump rings where you can add other dangles. You have your leather section here where you can actually hang dangles and charms from if you want to. And then as you also have like a chance here with your leaf component because the leaves are open. You can add other dangles to it as well. So you really can customize this and personalize it just like the other, or it looks beautiful all on its own. It doesn't lay particularly well just because of the style of the bracelet. But once you put it on, obviously it looks really great on. But you have this really awesome combination of this really warm copper with the leopard skin jasper and the crystals. So again, a bracelet we've done a couple of times, but this time I just broke up our gemstones with a little component here for fall, which I thought was really pretty. Okay. All right. So I've got one more project to show you, and then I will let you go for the day, you guys. This is an awesome necklace. And again, this is a necklace that has something from Danielle's shop in it. So it's built around these textured moons. I love these. I got these from Danielle Wicks. Right. So that is the focal of our necklace. I'm just going to build it out for you to show you. One side is pretty much done. So blue goldstone beads. Can you see the sparkle on those? They look like a night sky. They're so pretty. Okay. A decorative ring. So I'm just going to lay it all out for you, show you where we're going. Okay. So we need to do our two other little beaded sections here. So we're going to do this one and we're going to do the other one, right? With our ring in the middle. Now I can't stop there because I'm extra. So from each one of our little rings, we're going to take a little piece of chain and a star and another star. So you've got staggered stars on this one, and then a tree with the moon. So you've got a little night scene for this one, right? So pretty. It's so fun. And then the last part of this is just some chain to pull it all together. You don't have to use chain if you don't want to. Obviously, you can use leather. You can use other kind of cord. You could beat up the entire thing if you want to. But this is where we're going with this one. So I'm going to put it together because I love the finished product. I want you to be able to see it finished. So I'm going to take each one of our beads here and I'm just going to put those each on an eye pin. Okay. Now, because these are blue goldstone beads, they're irregular. They fall in the category of gemstone, even though they're man-made. They fall in the gemstone category. So as far as like how they're made, you know, they have the same kind of inconsistencies that regular gemstone beads do. So they're not all going to be exactly the same, but they all have that. Look at that night sky sparkle. So subtle, so beautiful. I love that. Look at that. Yeah, I love those. Can you tell? All right, so I'm putting each one of these onto an eye pin, and we're just going to do simple loops on each one of these. So let's get ready because we've got 6 simple loops to make. We're going to do them together. Okay. So I'm grabbing the wire instead of doing a wraps loop, which you can do if you want to, but since there is just a simple loop on one side, we're going to do a simple loop on the other side. Okay. So I'm just going to bend the wire over the top of the bead instead of over the pliers, right? Because I don't need that extra room for wire wraps. I'm going to come in and trim off. I want to leave myself about 1/4 of an inch of wire. And then I'm going to come in with my round nose pliers, grab that wire, and I'm going to roll back to close up my loop. Now, I'll be the first to tell you that my simple loops are not perfect. A lot of times they end up looking like little eggs or little teardrops instead of loops, but I don't sweat the small stuff and I don't want you to either, right? Because once you put the entire design together, nobody is going to be looking at those little loops. See, Jen says she still has trouble with them. I've made 1 million in my lifetime, but I struggle with them. That's why I always do a wrapped loop because I feel like my wrapped loops are so much nicer. But sometimes it calls for a simple loop. And so that's what we're doing. But you can see even that's not perfect. But you know what? In the grand scheme of this design, it doesn't matter. Nobody's ever going to notice, right? And we're going to do a few more. And trim off, leave yourself about 1/4 of an inch of wire, take your round nose pliers and roll back towards your hand and towards the bead to close your loop. Okay. Patty says that's interesting. Are they made to be inconsistent? I assume you're talking about the blue goldstone beads. I think they are. I think that because they fall into the category of gemstone, that they are intentionally made that way. I would imagine that that is definitely the case because, you know, gemstones are not consistent either unless you pay millions of dollars for them, and we can't do that. So I would imagine that that probably has something to do with it. And I got to say, there's absolutely nothing wrong with man-made gemstones because you know how many of those are in the world, right? It just makes them affordable and accessible to the rest of us. So I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it at all. They're so gorgeous. So like, I'm not sweating it. All right. So for our little beaded links, okay, we're using a larger. So I've got, I believe that's an 8 millimeter and these are 6 millimeter. So I'm just going to link those together without jump rings by opening the loop, right? You open it the same way you would a jump ring by twisting it open, not by pulling it apart. And we're going to use that larger bead in the middle of 2 of the smaller beads. Okay. So that's one little section. And then we're going to do the other section. Okay. So again, you just want to twist to open them, thread on your bead, and then twist to close it back. If you pull it apart, you'll never get it back into that round shape or oval shape, whichever shape. All right, now real quick, I'm going to take care of my little stars over here. So one of them is already wire wrapped, but one of them is going to hang down a little bit further on a very tiny piece of chain. So I'm going to wire wrap it directly to that piece of chain. And I want to do that now so that all we have left to do is just kind of assemble everything. So I'm going to do a wrapped loop on the top of my star. Okay. So now I'm going to come in with my round nose pliers, going up and over. Okay. Now before I do the wire wraps, I want to thread this on to the link, or the end link, one ends of this little tiny chain piece. Okay. And then use my bent chain nose pliers to hold that. And then wire wrap. Nicole has a question. I think it was somebody else's question, but it might have been Nicole's. It says, do you use the side of your finger as the measurement of where to cut the wire for the simple loops? And the answer to that is yes. That doesn't necessarily work for everybody, because, you know, everybody has different thicknesses of fingers. My finger just happens to be about 1/4 of an inch in thickness. And so I use that as my measurement when I'm making simple loops. Otherwise, I just kind of eyeball it. And sometimes I get it right. Sometimes I get it wrong. But I never take the time to use like an actual ruler because it takes way too much time. All right, so we have our second little star. So one of them is wire wrapped by itself. One of them is wire wrapped onto chain so that they will hang kind of staggered with each other. Let's do that real quick. So I'm going to open up a jump ring here. Okay, I'm going to twist to open that. I'm going to thread on the shorter star, and then I'm going to thread on the link on the other side of the star that's hanging, right? So you can see how they're going to hang. And then I'm going to attach that to decorative ring, and I'm going to close that back. Okay, so that part goes right there. And then over here, our nighttime charm, I'm just going to use a jump ring. I'm going to thread that on and thread that onto our decorative ring. Okay. All right. Now, what's left is just to put all of this together. So I'm going to use some jump rings here in between, right? This one that's already open. So I'm going to take my little chain, beaded chain. That's going to go onto our decorative ring. Close that back. Okay. Same thing on the other one. So just a 6mm jump ring. Attach that and attach that. Those two together, just like so. We're going to repeat that over here on the other side. So we're almost done. I can't wait for you to see this one hanging because it looks so good all put together. Okay. All right, now we need to put together our moon in the center. Okay, now I want you to notice something real quick. So our moon, the loop on our moon here is facing us, and I need the loop or the center of our necklace to be facing us too, so that it'll lay flat. So in order to get that to happen, we have to use a little 4mm jump ring as our go-between. So I'm going to open a 4mm jump ring, thread that on and close that, right? And now I'm going to use a larger jump ring. I believe this is an 8mm jump ring. I'm going to open that. I'm going to thread on our moon, and then I'm going to thread on each end of our beaded sides and close that back. So now that jump ring that's in the center will lay flat. If I hadn't added that jump ring right there, all of this would want to twist when you're wearing it, right? And that's no good. We don't want that. All right, so now I have chain. You guys, in your kits, you have one long piece of chain that you're going to have to cut to the desired length. Add your hardware, which is included as well, right? I just did a standard lobster clasp and jump rings, but I'm going to attach my 2 chain pieces to either end of the beaded sections with some 4mm jump rings. Just keep them nice and small. Okay, close that back. Same thing on the other side, and then we're done. And you've got yourself a nighttime necklace. So this is going to work for Halloween. If you're not much into like kitschy orange and green and black and purple for Halloween, but you still are like in the Halloween spirit, right? This is a really cool design for that. But then this is also a design that you can wear all year, right? Because I mean, there's nothing overtly Halloween about this. It's just a nighttime necklace, right? There's the stars and the moons and a really cool little creepy tree. It's not creepy, it's just a tree. But your beautiful blue goldstone beads, and comes together really well, right? All right. So that is it for all of the kits. So I'm going to give you a quick once over, and then I'll put the necklace on a bust so you can see it. So we have our leopard skin Jasper bracelet, our nighttime necklace. We have our dragonfly chain bracelet, right, with our crystal chunk and the dragonfly clasp. And then, of course, our pile of our Day of the Dead earrings. These are so fun. I'll put these on to show you guys, right? Those come in the blue, the white, and the black. Super fun. All right, guys, I'm going to turn you around. We'll take a last look at everything, and then I will let you guys go for the day. All right, get you turned around. Hope that you don't fall off of the tripod because it feels like you're going to. All right, so let me show you the necklace because I don't want you to have to wait. You gotta see this necklace. It's just so pretty hanging. Really is lovely. So the chain pieces, I just used what chain pieces I gave you guys. So the chain is really long. You'll have to, again, adjust it. So I'm going to double it on the bust here, but you can adjust it however you want. All right, make it hang all pretty. And then see if I can actually hold it up straight. Isn't that fun? Just, you know, it's asymmetrical. If I could hold it straight, I'm making it extra asymmetrical. But asymmetrical in the sense that there are two different things hanging from it on either side, right? But it's just pretty and fun. Again, whimsical, because we don't take ourselves too seriously, right? There's a time and a place for serious, buttoned up, you know, streamlined jewelry. This is not the time or the place for that. We're all about having a good time and, you know, letting our personality shine with our jewelry. And I'm a little asymmetrical in my life, right? And in my personality. So it comes across in my designs as well. And I love dangles. So you have me all day long with some stars and moons hanging. I'm all about it. So, all right, there you go. If I could hold it straight, it would definitely help you guys. That's for sure. Super cool and sparkly, right? You've got the sparkle from the stars, you have the sparkle from the beads, but it's not like an in-your-face sparkle because it's that beautiful kind of twinkly night sky that happens with those goldstone beads that just there's nothing else like those. And then of course we have our fun little skulls. Again, just a reminder that we don't take ourselves too seriously, right? We just don't. We're fun. We're fun, and our jewelry says we're fun. Come talk to me and hang out. I'm a fun person. Don't mind me and the crazy jewelry. But no, seriously. They're fun. So there are the white ones. Here are the blue ones. And of course the two bracelets. But I mean, you don't need to see those up. Those are fun. So if this is too long of a neck or an earring for you, obviously you could split up the kit and make two pairs of earrings out of them. You know, you could just have the skulls and then just have the roses, or you can shorten them up, right? So you got all the materials, but I like the black ones. I'm a fan. But I also do like the blue. As I don't know. I like all of them, honestly, but I think the black ones are my favorite. Nicole says the necklace equals winner, winner, chicken dinner. That's what I'm going for. All right, my friends, I hope that you have enjoyed our Feel Good Friday show. For those of you who make purchases, I thank you from the very, very bottom of my heart. Cooper says he thanks you too. Have you gotten used to that where he just whines every single time it's time to say goodbye? It's so funny. Don't forget that the maker mixes are 10% off and select kits are 10% off in the shop as well. You don't have to have a coupon code for those, so it just automatically takes that discount off when you go to check out. Don't forget to check out Danielle's shop as well. That is, let's see, I got a banner for her. Danielle Wicks, that's where the moons and the dragonflies came from. The owls from some previous kits that I have done, guys. That's where those came from. Definitely go check her out. She is an amazing person. She's an amazing designer, and she has a great shop with some really cool beads in it. So if you are feeling in the mood to buy some beads, go check her out and tell her I sent you, right? All right, you guys, have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your afternoon. I will see the Hardwired group later at 4:30 p.m. The rest of you, please come and hang out tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern time over on Sam's Bead Shop. I'll be doing a design on the fly with his previous Sam's Bead Box. Looking forward to that. It's going to be fun. I have no idea what I'm going to make, so that's always a good time, right? For the rest of you, if I don't see you again, I will see you next week. Enjoy your weekend. Find some time to do something good for yourself. Make yourself feel good. Make yourself something pretty, right? I love you guys. Have a great afternoon. Bye, guys.